Set to go for another season of Diamondbacks baseball. It's opening day 2017. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Sanderson Ford. It's April in Phoenix. The roof is open at Chase Field. Our Arizona sunshine beaming down on a ballpark filled to capacity, sold out well in advance. And the atmosphere here certainly hopeful, with a new front office, a new manager, and renewed optimism. And we are set to go for another Diamondbacks opening day, the 20th in franchise history. And Bob Brenly, for the first time ever, we open up on a Sunday.
Yeah, kind of odd to be playing baseball on a Sunday afternoon. We know the reasons for that, but opening day is opening day regardless of what day of the week it happens to fall on. You know the players in that third base dugout, as well as the Giants on the other side, are ready to get underway and play some games that count.
This is the fourth time in 6 years the Diamondbacks will open their season against the Giants. San Francisco won last year's season series 13-6. And one thing that must change for the D-backs this year, their record against the Giants in this ballpark. Last year it was 1-9. And that should be much better here in 2017. Zach Greinke set to take the mound against this lineup for the San Francisco Giants.
Chris Bochy once again at the helm of the San Francisco Giants, the dean of the National League West managers. Here's how he's going to line them up today. Denard Span out in center field, leading off. Brandon Belt down at first base. Hunter Pence out in right field. Buster Posey will be behind the plate. Taking some fire here. Brandon Crawford at shortstop. Eduardo Nunez will be at third base with Jarrett Parker in left field. Joe Panik at second base. And Madison Bumgarner, the left-hander, on the mound.
And your starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, it's the right-hander Zach Greinke. Today's starting pitcher sponsored by Ram Trucks. Zach beginning his second season with the Diamondbacks, now 33 years old. Fully healthy and ready to lead what he called a very talented pitching staff and a team for which he insists he still has really high hopes.
Third opening day start for Zach Greinke. He's 9-2 against the Giants in 14 career starts with an ERA right at 2.5. This is a team he's very familiar with the exception of maybe Jarrett Parker and Eduardo Nunez. So Zach Greinke, I'm sure, has a great game plan to go against this Giants offense today.
Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks around Zach Greinke. Our Eye on Defense is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
That's a very welcome sight out in center field. Number 11, A.J. Pollock, after injuring his elbow last year, missing most of the season. He's getting the nod opening day out in center field. He'll be flanked by Yasmani Tomas in left. David Peralta in right. It'll be Jake Lamb and Chris Owings on the left side of the infield with Brandon Drury and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis getting the nod on opening day, and he'll be catching pitches from right-hander Zach Greinke.
This game has been sold out well in advance. We are at capacity at Chase Field, nearly 50,000 here today. And the man calling the balls and strikes with all the pressure on him amidst the smoke of the pomp and the circumstance and the fireworks and the whole thing, it's Greg Gibson. Tim Timmons, Jim Wolf, and DJ Rayburn are umpires on the bases first to third.
A lovely afternoon here in the Valley of the Sun, but we will have some shadow issues as the day moves forward and the sun sinks away to the west. You can see him creeping up just behind the home plate umpire right now.
Just a perfect Arizona Sunday here for the 2017 opener as Zach Greinke steps up against Denard Span, and we are underway, the D-backs and the San Francisco Giants. Denard Span, his second season with the Giants. His numbers last year, 266, 11 home runs. Span came over from the Washington Nationals on a free agent deal prior to last year. Had a good spring. A ball and a strike. See Jake Lamb even with a bag at third. Lamb, Owings, Drury, Goldie, the infield third to first. This is popped up. Chris Owings drifting out into shallow left field. One down. Well, time now, BB, for your first of the year, your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Third baseman, number 9.
Well, I think it's imperative for the Diamondbacks to start fast this season. Not only opening day here against the Giants, but 24 of their first 27 games in the month of April come against National League West opponents. So it would really behoove them to be playing their best ball as the season gets underway.
Brandon Belt, his 7th opening day with the Giants. Diamondbacks have the shift on, and that's fouled straight back. Belt had a very good year last year, an all-star in fact. He led the Giants with those 17 homers. Second on the team in RBIs behind only Brandon Crawford. There is the shift. Brandon Drury, the second baseman in his normal spot. The shortstop, Chris Owings, well out in short right field. 0-2 on Belt. Greinke getting ahead early.
And much has been made about the velocity or lack thereof for Zack Greinke throughout spring training, pitching in the high 80s, touching 90 from time to time. Got up close to 92 for his best fastball this spring, but as we've talked about at length, not necessary for Zack to have maximum velocity and be effective. He hits spots, he changes speeds. That's what makes him effective.
And Torey Lovello saw Zack spring as Greinke simply working into the rhythm of opening day, and they know it's a build-up process for Zack, so they're not concerned at all about any velocity radar gun readings, because Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, has insisted, look, with Greinke it's not as much about velocity anyway as it is about commanding the baseball, and this is a guy who Butch says knows how to pitch, and that's what the Diamondbacks are going to rely on. Full count, 3-2. Brandon Belt is a very disciplined hitter. He's become one of the league leaders in walks every year, so he will not get himself out. You have to pitch to him. Didn't get the call from Greg Gibson. A 1-out walk to Belt.
Right fielder, number 8, Hunter Pence.
A very quiet spring for Hunter Pence. You see his numbers last year, 289 and 13 home runs. Slowed down by injuries last year. He was limited to just over 100 games. Goldie holding Belt on the bag at first. Ball one.
Yeah, Pence had a little bit of a quiet spring, hit only 183, but much like we've been talking about Zack Greinke and how he prepares for a season, I don't think Bruce Bochy's overly concerned with Hunter Pence as long as he's healthy and able to start 162 times.
He had 60 at bats this spring. That was among the most on the team. Can't check his swing, and it's a ball and a strike. Hunter Pence last season, the trouble was a right hamstring problem. Went on the disabled list at the beginning of June. Needed surgery, in fact, for a torn tendon. Didn't make it back until the very end of July. He missed nearly 50 games. Knocks this one into center.
Yeah, so much for spring training.
Exactly.
Yeah, this guy attacks every at bat like it might be the last one he ever gets. Lines this one right back up the middle of the field. Putting Giants at first and second for.
Runners on the move again. Jammed him. Popped up first base side. Goldie fights the sun. And he's got it. Well, Zack Greinke had to really work there, but he strands two. Diamondbacks coming up.
Is that iced tea?
Nope, it's lemonade.
Is that iced tea?
Lemonade.
Iced tea.
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
Okay.
Delicious.
Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
It's lemonade, man.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
A sunny Sunday in Arizona. A.J. Pollock set to lead it off for the Diamondbacks against your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Giants. It's Madison Bumgarner's 4th consecutive opening day start. Last season was the best.